In this video, we're going to take a look at the surface area of circular solids. So we're going to lump cylinders, cones, and spheres together because they have the property that they relate to circles. So cylinders have two bases. All right, so different, very similar to a prism in that they have two bases. What's different though is that the shape of the base is going to be a circle. Okay, so the cone is a little bit like a pyramid in the fact that it has one base. Still a circular base, but it has one base. And the sphere is a unique object in that it doesn't have any bases at all. Again, it's going to kind of roll all over the place until it stops at some point. But they all have a radius, and that's going to be key. That all three are covered together because they have a radius, and the circles are related to them. So the cylinder, again, two bases, a cone, one base, and a sphere, no bases. Now the cylinder, believe it or not, the lateral area of that is, if you take a look at the shape of the cylinder, if you were to unroll it, you would end up getting a rectangle. And the rectangle has dimensions of height, the height of the cylinder itself, and then around the circle. So that would be your circumference. So the lateral area of a cylinder is 2 pi r(h). For a cone, we're going to use our slant height, which is our dimension L right here. And similar to a height, but not quite, because again, it's on a slant, we're going to basically take half of our circumference and multiply it by our slant height. So your lateral area for a cone is pi r(L). And a sphere doesn't have lateral area because it doesn't have a base. So then your surface area is just your lateral area that we have here, adding to that the number of bases you have. Now in a cylinder you have two circular bases. So when you have your 2 pi r(h), you're going to add in 2 pi r squared. And for a cone you have one base, one circle, you're going to add in pi r squared. So it's pi r(L) plus pi r squared. And then the lateral area of a sphere, surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So is there another way to express the lateral area of a cylinder? We've already talked about the fact that the dimensions of the rectangle are your circumference times your height. So if we want to, we can describe the lateral area as circumference times height. Again, circumference of the base. Where do we add 2 pi r squared? Because there are two circular bases. And if you have the height of a cone and the radius of the cone, you can find the slant height by using the Pythagorean theorem. Or if you have two of those dimensions, you can find the third using Pythagorean theorem. And we add pi r squared to the lateral area of a cone for the total area because there's one circular base. So a couple examples here, we'll do one of each, and then I think that should suffice. We want to find the surface area and lateral area for each of the following shapes. For the first one, we have a cylinder, and we're given the radius and the height. So when we're finding the lateral area, we're going to take 2 times pi times your radius, which is 2, times your height, which is 5, and we end up getting 20 pi centimeters squared. For the surface area, then we're going to add in our two circular bases. Each circle has an area of 4 pi, so we're going to add to our surface area a total of 8 pi to give us 28 pi centimeters squared. For a sphere, if we're given the radius, we're going to take the radius squared, so in this case 10, so there's our radius of 10. We're going to square that to give it an area of 100, and then multiply by 4. So what we end up getting is 400 pi centimeters squared for our surface area. And a cone, I have two dimensions given to me, the slant height of 41, the height of 40, and I need to find the radius, which is 9. Again, if you know your triples, it's awesome. If you don't, you can use the Pythagorean theorem to get it. But your lateral area is pi times the radius times the slant height. So we get 369 pi. To find the surface area, we're going to take that same lateral area and add to it one circular base. And so our circular base is pi r squared, so it's pi times 9 squared. That's 81 pi. So when we take 369 plus 81 pi, we end up getting 450 pi. So again, lateral area, surface area, they're very specific formulas. You don't have to memorize the formulas. Again, it's more of a process on how many bases are you going to add and all that other good stuff. But those are our circular solids, and we cover those together because, well, they're all related to circles.